What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 102, and we're starting today's stuff with a recap of the Champions League groups for the draw for the last 16. As you can see, the teams that made it through, Juventus failed to get through their group, interesting enough, from Italy. Other than that though, not too many shocks to report. Of course, after our win over Basic here, we topped it, 5 wins in 6. And as for the draw for the last 16, Milan have got... Oh, it's a blockbuster tie. And I kind of knew it was going to happen. I don't know what it is, but for me, in FIFA CM, in Champions League groups, right, now I don't know the science behind this, and I am going to accredit it to bad luck. But for some reason, whenever I top the group, the runner-up I face always appears to be the strongest runner-up of the groups that have been completed. We got Barcelona, Xavi's Barca, the Catalan Giants in the last 16. First leg coming, I believe, away at the Nou Camp, and then the second leg's going to be at the San Siro. And also, you know, Barcelona this season in real life, it's been an incredibly tough season for Xavi, of course, the new head coach brought in to replace Ronald Koeman. It's been very difficult. Obviously, they had financial troubles during the summer. We obviously saw Lionel Messi, club legend, one of the greatest all-time, leave to Paris Saint-Germain and the expiry of his contract. It has been a tough first season in the post-Messi era for Barca, as you would expect. They failed to get out of the Champions League group as well this season for the first time in God knows how long. So I know it's been tough for Barcelona, but in the game right now, when I tell you they're doing really well, believe me, they're doing really, really well. So I'm not sitting there thinking this could be as easy as a tie as it potentially could have been. There were some runners up in there. I was thinking, if we get them, I definitely fancy our chance. But against Barcelona, yeah, I mean, we're probably slight favourites to determine based on how well we've been doing this season. As we know, still undefeated in all competitions, top of the Serie A as well, heading into our first game against Genoa at the San Siro. But even so, I don't think that'll be a walkover one bit. But you know what? I keep on saying it. I like it. The challenge is what's making this save really, really fun. Still, 41st game of today's episode on the back of the win over Basic here by 2-0 at the San Siro, taking on Genoa. Obviously, our last Serie A game before that, 2-0 against Empoli, and right now 2-0 just seems to be my favourite scoreline. Scoring early in the first half through Elias Timmermans, and Sol Ramirez off the bench goes down Messi's region. However, he would set up Elias' second goal of the game. I said this year Timmermans is going to have a breakout season. He definitely is. He's averaging a goal in every 2 games and really thriving right now as the young Belgian bags his brace and wins us the game. But following that, we did see the injury news for Sol Ramirez. He went down during the game. 3 goals and 3 assists in 13 games in all competitions. However, take the bad form as a pinch of salt. It's not been as bad as the game determines. The reason why it says that is because Ramirez, in the majority of our games, has come off the bench to get involved. He doesn't start as many games, so I would take that with a pinch of salt. However, the injury news there, done for a few weeks. It's not a major injury. We're still waiting for that first major injury of the season. We're always going to get one. Happens every single year. We always get one major injury, one several-month injury to come. Hasn't come yet, but Ramirez done for a few weeks. I think we'll be okay though, because this season we've got an abundance of wingers in our AC Milan side. Still, 42nd game of today's episode. I was super excited for this one. One of the rare times we're the away team despite playing at home stadium, the San Siro. First Milan derby of the season outside the Supercoppa that of course we won back in the summer. Now last season we faced the champions twice. We drew with them 2-2 in a thriller in our home fixture against them, and then lost a reverse fixture against them. That was the game that kind of saw them pull away on their way to winning the title. Now this season still undefeated, and the champions right now in 3rd place, not having their best season, as Simone Inzaghi's side, desperate to retain their title, need to get going if they're going to catch us off to a red hot start. And 27 minutes into the game, well, I knew this was going to be the toughest fixture of the season. There's not just points on the line, but pride as well. Donny van der Beek, former Red Devil, former Ajax midfielder, makes it 1-0. And you saw how hard I had to grind for the victory over them in the Supercoppa. I've mentioned it before, we are now the highest rated team in Italy. But I don't care whether we started off on red hot form, still undefeated. This is still the best team in Italy right now. They won domestic double at our expense last season. I'm sorry, but I don't know whether it comes through in the gameplay, but they are the most difficult team I think I've faced in this year's FIFA CM, possibly alongside Liverpool and maybe Borussia Dortmund as well. Unbelievable. 2-0 down, just over half an hour into the game, and I was thinking, I can't do it, man. I know we beat them in a Super Copper in extra time, but I just can't do it. We only forced extra time with a last-minute equaliser, and then, of course, Schneider won it in extra time for us. But they were just too good, and Fabio Silva so close here to getting a third goal a few minutes later. Had it not been for an incredible reflex save by Mike. Look at that. I'd show you the replay of that save there. I rarely do that, but that was an incredible stop there by our French number 16. Keeps it 2-0. I was just all at sea, and I literally could not stop their high-powered offense. 41 minutes into the game, needed to get back into it, and we would as well. It's that young man coming of age this season. I talked about this season being a breakout year for him. He's having it. Third goal in 2 games, and a big one there as he halves the deficit and makes it 2-1. And in stoppage time in the first half, one potential late chance to get ourselves back on level terms. Oh, strong collision. You expect that in a derby. Roberto gets up, but Timmermans does not. Well, I mean, he did seconds afterwards because of the animation, which I thought was really, really funny. He's in a heap on the floor. He needs to be replaced, but then, of course, the animation doesn't register that, so he just walks off the pitch like he's totally fine. But he would be replaced, Timmermans, as we were still down by a goal heading to the break. Thrilling first half, though. Tough challenges, and they continued in the second. 8 minutes after the restart, Inter were just flying into challenges on our player. Sandro Tonali, the latest to go down in a crumpled heap, though he would get back to his feet. Inter played on, though, with a man advantage. Noni would juke down the right hand side. The English winner back to Van der Beek, scored their first, almost got their third. Mike again with another brilliant save, and if it was not for him, this game would have been done. So still 2-1 into Milan. We weren't giving up though, despite Inter looking so threatening on the offensive end. We look good going forward as well, and with 22 minutes to go, golden chance to make it 2-2. Fell to the right man, but I just lacked conviction with Gutierrez there. A good save, but really should have been back on level terms. But it was such a brilliant game, this one, though. One of my favourite games of this series. Fabio Silva denied by another brilliant save by Michael. At this point, was keeping us in the game almost single-handedly. And in an end-to-end piece of action, Keane is released by Roberto down the left, and it's another great save on the other end. Just a fantastic game, but what have I talked about in this year's FIFA so often? After the danger is only half cleared, it drops to Callum Hudson-Odoi. And my goodness gracious me. I don't know what it is about goalkeepers in this year's FIFA, but long shots, they simply can't deal with them. Shot straight down the middle, fumbled into the bottom corner, Milan back on level terms, and after Inter hit the crossbar with 2.5 minutes to go, my goodness, that gave me a heart attack. That was how the game would finish. Final score at the San Siro in our away fixture against Inter. What a thriller. An unbelievable, amazing Milan derby. Honestly, man, this was one of my favourite games to play all series long. It finishes 2-2. You see the stats here. I think Inter might have been a slightly better team. In fact, I will say they were a slightly better team in this one here. They probably should have won it, hitting the crossbar. Mike made some incredible saves. The goal they let in, the second one, was just an awful piece of goalkeeping. But I'll take that point there. I really will. Fortunately, the 2 injuries we saw in the game as well, Timmermans and Tonali going down. It was a really feisty affair, thankfully, at just 5-day knocks. But I'll take the point because you can see in the table here, whilst Juve cut the gap to 2, we're still 6 points clear of Simone Inzaghi's side. So the champions remain in third place. I think they needed the win more than we did. And the season has kind of flipped from last season. Remember last year when we faced Inter, we were behind them in second place and third place for the first fixture against them. When we took them on in the Milan derbies in the Serie A. And I said during those games, we needed the wins more than they did. Because we were the chasing team, and it's the same this season, just on the other side. They needed the wins because they're chasing us. So I'm going to take that. We were 2-0 down. It definitely could have been our first defeat of the season, but instead we battled back. Despite the injuries, despite Mike keeping us in the game, you could have man of the match in that one. We get ourselves a crucial point there to remain undefeated in the Serie A. So as the winter break arrives and the January transfer window opens, 17 games in the season, still top for now. Roberto, the main reason why. As you look at our side, £5 million to work with. If we're going to make a signing or signings, we'll need to sell someone. The question is, right now, still undefeated. Is that the smart move, or do we just look to keep the band together? We're the highest rated team in Italy, even if it doesn't feel that way based on how good Inter Milan are. We're into Champions League last 16 against Barcelona, and I'd show you Brentford. Just to end today's episode off, oh, the Bees, 11th place, though they are through their Europa League group. Come on, Brentford, we still love you. But that will end today's episode of Korean Mode, guys. Massive thank you for watching. Hope you have have. Enjoyed. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for next episode with the January window in full swing very soon.